Hello, hello, hello. We are live. I'm so excited. I don't think you understand how much I have been looking forward to talking to you publicly. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
not in general, but
you can
like
you can call me whatever.
with the people. But I am going to check just to make sure we are actively live in all of the places. So give me just a moment. I see that we've popped up on Instagram. Facebook is a funny one. I always have to change the audience for whatever reason. So now the world can see us there.
Ooh.
I know we are on YouTube and I am checking LinkedIn, and that's the last place. And then we are golden. All right. So yes. We are live. It's official. Okay, perfect. Hello, beautiful. All right, hello, people. I see we have a couple of eyes on us already. My name is Tanisha Stolnaker. I am the CEO and founder of SVS. We are all things systems, automation, processes, and tech. And I always have to shout out my all-women team of amazing specialists and experts that are across the globe. So shouts out to you all. Love you. Mean it. Thank you. And so I have with me Miss Keita Williams, who is going to be an amazing ball of energy from head to toe, as we have discussed before we went live today. And so she is coming to us, and we're going to talk about another important topic that I think every single person that I've talked to this year and last year can relate to, which is stress management and burnout. But before, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the people.
Oh, well, thank you, Tanisha. I am Keita Williams. I'm the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me a professional butt kicker. We have two sides to our business. So we do corporate trainings all around goal setting and accountability. And then we have our coaching side of our practice where we work with B2B service-based businesses on building scale and combining mindset work with strategy and good old-fashioned accountability.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, professional butt kicker.
Yeah.
Love the topic you picked because that one and finance are probably the two that I could do the topic over and over with different people because it hits home. But
Yeah.
I'm curious, why did you pick stress management and burnout prevention?
Well, I think I obviously have a lot to say about it. That part, but also I think that in the coaching modality, and especially in the space of hypnotherapy, language matters, right? Language is so critical. And when I think about stress management, burnout prevention, the first thing that I think of is language. How are you showing up? How are you communicating? How are you talking about what you're experiencing? Because language is that first domino. So if you're running around, I'm stressed, your subconscious mind hears that, and it's a tape recording. So it's capturing it, it never forgets, and then you're creating more stress, right? And so I think that when I'm think about how the first line of defense when it comes to stress management and burnout prevention is language. Like, how are we talking about scenario? How, like, if things aren't going well in your business, because listen, pandemic followed by economic downturn, followed by what the hell is 2024 doing? One of my friends, hi Linda, said it's a game of Jumanji. You never know what you're gonna roll.
Yes. Yeah.
And considering that 80% of entrepreneurship is mindset and head game, and 20% is actually execution, it is so important to manage your stress to be able to show up and make decisions from a place of clarity rather than making decisions from a place of desperation or gotta do this more, that you're being more thoughtful in how you're doing things.
So I'm hearing definitely more proactive than reactive. I'm now wondering if my chaos coordinator sweatshirt is helping me or not. Because my husband jokes that I'm calling it in. Because he's like, think about it. Every time you wear that sweatshirt, shit goes crazy. And he was like, maybe you're asking for it. Like you literally put it on a shirt and walk around, and then you wonder why people bring all this crazy to you.
Oh yeah, because they're like, this is what she does. Let me bring my chaos right to her.
It's like she's,
you know what? This extra chaos. Let me give that to Tanisha. Well, I think what's and this is another thing I learned through hypnotherapy. What's the positive outcome of that? So if you're a chaos coordinator, how do you put that in positive terms? What's the positive of a chaos coordinator? Are you a peace wrangler? Are you are you a purveyor of ease and flow? Ooh, I like that one.
I like it, but I don't think that I would. No, I'm not that. I'm definitely a fixer, and it might not always feel ease and flow, but your problem will be solved, and the chaos will lower. So yeah, I don't. It's funny. An old coach of mine, if she sees this, hey, Coach Sophia, that ease and flow is her thing. That's her thing, her way of approaching everything. And I love hearing it. And then I laughed to myself. I was like, that is the flow part, I guess, is the opposite of how I tend to approach things. So, okay. So I guess if language is the first thing and kind of how we talk about it and how we bring it in, and I definitely can relate. I've put, especially since starting my business a few years ago, I've tried to be very intentional as much as possible and rein it in to where I don't beat myself up too much. And I don't, when the person calls and they're like, hey, how are you doing? And you immediately just unload everything that's happening.
Which is why they didn't call for that at all.
But it's a balance of being real and honest versus like this word dumping. Like I have some girlfriends where we can barely say good morning sometimes. And it's like the chat started with the nonsense. And it's like, hello, good morning.
Good morning. Let's
how are you?
Control Delete. Let's try this again. See, I'll say that though.
Yeah.
I will like, hey, let's try again.
Yeah. It's like I normally respond with the eyeballs where it's like, what
happened? What happened? Y'all good? Y'all good?
The other part of this conversation. And I have clients that do the same thing where it's like, I feel like their stress levels have gotten them to a point that when they reach out to me, they forgot the whole introduction of the conversation. I literally had a client that responded and was like, this bitch is crazy. And I for a second was second guessing myself. I was like, did I do something? Am I the crazy one? Where am I in this? And so I realized that she was having a challenge with somebody, but that was the introduction of the conversation. And so even just getting people to kind of, I don't know, take a breath sometimes before we spew it out. I definitely think that's very important. I think, the other part is just, I'm big on protecting my energy. So for me, the language is important in how you approach me, and that has such a big connection to how I may react to something or not react to it. So definitely
my favorite comeback, or I don't know who taught me this one, but when you get one of those like less than stellar answers or whatever, like, are you feeling okay?
Yeah. No, mine's like, you all right?
Are you okay?
Good. You good?
Okay. Did you hit your head? Because you must have forgot who you're talking to. Well, I think, yes. So like language matters. And I think that there is definitely hustle language. So like grind it out, grind. No, nobody asked you to do that.
Yeah, I'm sick of grinding.
I don't.
I'm over grinding. I'm over lessons.
Yeah, grinding, lessons, hustle, superwoman, all of which, like superwoman to me implies I'm over here lifting cars and rescuing babies. When can I be moderate woman? Can I be okay lady? Like, nobody asked me to be superwoman. And that's pressure I'm putting on myself.
Yes, I've done that as well.
So language matters. And I even think that, especially in the space of, we work in these industries where we have to interact with people in times where they may not see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And that, I often refer to that as like, we have these gold coins. We have this emotional capital. They're like gold coins, like from Mario Brothers. You have an allotment of gold coins, right? And there are things you can do to get more gold coins, and that's your self-care. That's engaging in activities that inspire and feel good to you. You get your gold coins back, but you only have a set amount of gold coins.
Yeah.
And so you have to make a choice on what gets your emotional capital. Like, is this conversation worth the emotional capital? Okay, now I don't have it today. I don't necessarily need to have this conversation right now.
Yeah, it's funny. I think you and I serve, maybe not on the corporate side, but on the B2B side, I think we serve similar types of people. Just we approach it differently. So of course, I'm looking at scaling with systems and processes and automating things like that. But there is still such a level of, I jokingly do say therapy, but where it's really just the interpersonal part. It's not just systems and processes. There's a person.
Oh, yeah. Especially the last couple years.
Yes. Yeah. And so over the last few years, each year seems like a different theme of how clients come in and how they approach and their tone, their mood. You know, this year you talk about Jumanji. I don't know what this year's tone is. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, this year's is different. It's differently different. And the burnout level of clients coming in the door now, it just seems even higher than like during the active pandemic.
Well, I think that, and you know, I don't have the credentials to support this theory. Say. But even if you just look at the Marvel films with like the blip, right? Like, we experienced a blip. We have this collective trauma.
Yeah.
Right. That went on for years. And then we try to get back into regular, right? We tried to go back to normal life as if it did not happen. Or, you know, like, I think that we're going to see long-term sociology studies and psychological studies on the impact of the pandemic in the years come. So this is going to impact a generation, right? And so I think that this is my untrained observation that this is a culmination of the last few years. That, you know, I think that there was, during the pandemic, there was this sense of over optimism. Like, we can do it, we can get through it, let's all get through it. And then we get to the other side of it, and it's like, oh, more shit.
Yeah. Shit's still coming. Yeah.
Oh, wait, why is inflation? Why are eggs so damn expensive now? You know, like, oh, and then here's some more economic. No, nobody's got budget. So yeah, I think that we're going to be seeing long-term effects, and I do not have the answer or the silver bullet for it. And I think that's why the languaging, how you're talking to yourself, how you're talking about your business, how you're interacting with other people, because all of that adds to that compound effect of whatever trauma and stress we haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
I also think that it's important to have routines. I think what I have observed from the burnout space, especially on the coaching side of things, but even with my friends, and like waiting to get to E, till you run your tank down to E. To be like, I need a self-care day. Girl, you need 3 weeks of sleep. You don't that, like, you've been burning the candle at both ends. Now you want to take a Saturday to straighten all that out. Like, that it's I think it's having a system. How are you managing your mental health, your physical health on a daily basis? Not a wait until you're ashy and coming undone, and you at the doctor, your blood pressure is through the roof. You on all types of anti-anxiety pills. Not waiting until it's at the break point to start taking it seriously. You can build these routines, and that doesn't, self-care is not bubble baths for everybody. There are some people that
bubble baths are stressor for me, so that'll never be.
Listen, I'm almost 6 foot. Unless it's a custom bath, it is not a fun experience.
Yeah, I'm shorter, and both of us are just wedged in there. But
I was just like knees up, boobs out. Like I can't get the whole body wet. It's not. Anyway, I'm sure you did not want to talk about my boobs and my knees today, but here we are. This is what happens when you give me no guardrails.
No guardrails off. No.
Guardrails off. But like for me, self-care, I call it bougie breakfast. I will make myself a bougie breakfast, and it's an overly complicated, beautiful breakfast in the middle of the week. It's avocado toast with a truffle oil drizzle. It sit down, cross my legs, drink a cup of coffee, and because that makes me feel abundant.
Yeah,
like rushing with a piece of toast, trying to get this done, get that done, makes me feel poor.
Okay, so it's funny. Mine. If I'm looking at daily routine, and it still creeps my husband out, we've been together years. When he comes downstairs and I'm sitting in our family room or a room in the house in the dark with the blinds closed with my cup of coffee. And even now, he still will come down the stairs and he's like, "Are you okay?" I was like,
"You okay?
I'm good." And he's
this
like,
is my quiet time. This is my me time.
That's exactly it. He's like, "Why are you in the dark? You creep me out every time you do this." I was like, and you still ask. I'm like, I don't understand why it still creeps you out. But I'm like, there are people that meditate. I guess it's as close to meditation as I'm going to get, where I just get to sit in a room by myself, no dog, no kid, no husband. And I just sip my coffee. I might scroll TikTok. I might play games on my phone. I might just sit there. And it's the time that I need to kind of prepare myself and just kind of woosah or pre-woosah it out for the day.
I got 90 minutes of Keita time before I can deal with people. I need 90 minutes of Keita time.
I'm like, just give me a little bit of time, and because I need to, or let me just say it this way: I've decided to ease into my day. Because I spent years leaping into the day, sitting
running through the door, late, run, fast, gotta go.
Yeah, and so I'm like, if the whole sales pitch is that we're creating the business and the life that we want, then it starts with how I start my day. I am not the 5 a.m. wake up person. If I'm up at 5, I guarantee ain't shit constructive happening. I'm laying there trying to figure out how I can change this and go back down to sleep. But,
I'm up early, but I don't do nothing till 10. Like I'm really doing my Keita time. But then as far as my high impact work doesn't start till 9:30, 10 o'clock. I like to ease into my day. And again, that it takes discipline to do that. And that's creating the space for it. It's a daily habit. And so when I think about stress management and how you're going to prevent burnout, if you are a human being walking the face, stress is part of the human condition. Life be lifing. Life be lifing. Because, it could be, everything could be going well professionally, and then personally things are happening. There's something always going on, right? And it's how we respond to it. It's how we respond to it and how we can manage and self-regulate when we experience those things. Because you get to choose. You can decide to go completely off the rails and spiral out of control at the slightest inconvenience.
Yes, some of us are about an episode and a half away from being unsnapped.
Yes, choose. You can choose to snap. You get to choose that. You can also choose to be. You can also choose to. Okay, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to approach it, step back from it, and approach it differently. But this requires that level of self-mastery and discipline, right? Like you can choose to act a fool anytime you want, right? And you could also choose to be above that. You could choose. You can listen. My 10 a.m. I chose to wear a sequins jogging suit today. Did nobody ask me to wear a sequins jogging suit? But that's what I'm choosing, and that's the energy I'm putting out here.
And I love it because, as we discussed, I'm business on the top and gym on the bottom. But
it's still a jogging suit. Don't get it wrong. It's a jogging suit. It's got a drawstring. It's just got a lot of glitter.
But I'm just saying, I'm feeling like now I need to, and my CFO is watching, so I'm going to say this because she's going to enjoy this. I feel like in my Amazon cart, I need to find a sequins jogging suit now to put in there.
Oh, listen, I'll send you the link. Don't worry.
You know, why not?
Why not? Why not? Why not?
So question.
What's that?
Whether it's for you, I guess, with the clients that you work with or yourself, what do you think are some of the first signs of when burnout's about to happen? Like stress is a thing. You're right. There can be good stress, bad stress. I've seen people that were stressed when they didn't have money, and then suddenly when they suddenly have loads of money, they're still stressed.
They still stressed. They still stressed
the money because they're used to being broke.
They're worried about losing the money. Yeah.
You know, so I've seen that cycle, but I guess from your experience, when is it shift from just day-to-day stress to burnout?
I feel like when you can't shut it off, like when you finish your work day and you talk about work a whole nother hour and it's not positive. Whether it's your business or your corporate career, if you spend more time you giving this space to Anthony did this, you didn't give yourself enough recovery time. You took some of your recovery time and you gave it back to whether that was your business or you gave it back to work, right? Yeah. So you have this unpaid labor. So that to me is warning sign, or when you lay down and you're laying in bed and you're going through your to-do list and it's not a positive thing. It's all the things you did not accomplish. And it's like you're beating yourself up for what you didn't accomplish rather than celebrating what you did accomplish that day. I feel like those are like those are the inklings when you can't shut off.
Yeah.
I think that's an early sign that you can kind of, okay, I got to do something different before it turns into an entirely empty tank. And now you got to, force time off.
Yeah. That was definitely me last year. This time last year was very, it was weird. It was a balance again of the good things going on and then lifing, between I had decided, I went from 2022, where I was like, 2023, I'm just going to work. We're going to run the business, take care of my team, take care of our clients. It looked beautiful. And it was like the commercial played out wonderfully in my head. I was like, I'm not going to spend any major money. We're just going to, keep cash in.
Not right along.
Yes, it was going to be great. And then the year came, and I think by the end of February, about $40,000 investment in of not spending money because I decided to rebrand and do all of these things with no real plan. It started as like a small idea, and then it just grew legs, feet, and wheels, and it just took off. And I didn't have any real plan for it at all. And it's funny because it's around the time you and I met.
Oh, so it's my fault. No. Don't blame it on me.
But I laugh at looking back because I was so, even though, we met in DC, I'd gone to DC, I'd gone to a retreat, I'd gone on vacation. One of my close friends died, all within maybe 4 weeks of one another. From March to April. And it was that and the investment, and the investments weren't going right. I had to fire this person, but I've already spent this money. I've spent $1,000 over here, and that didn't work out. And by the end of like the first quarter of last year, I was tapped. Just mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. And like I suffer from fear of failure. So it was like sky high where it's like, I got nothing. And the next quarter, anybody that asked me a question, I couldn't answer the question. It didn't matter what the question. What do you want to eat? I mean, I was ready to fight just by asking. Like,
why don't you just pick something up?
Attacking me like this.
You know what I like.
But my team would ask, "What do you think we should do about this?" I don't know. what I trust you, whatever you think. But that was starting to be my answer for so many things. Do you think we should do this? I don't know. Do you think we should do this? I don't know. Do you think this costs too much? Have no idea. I was like, that's not my general nature. I'm typically a hell yes or a hell no person. And everything was a, I felt like I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher in my head. Every time somebody asked me something, I was like, I got nothing. But I laughed because apparently I made it look okay because you didn't see it, you know. Right. I already saw it. The clients didn't see it, thankfully. But it wasn't until the middle of the year that I realized just how tapped I was. And it crept up on me so quickly that I didn't even have the time to take the step back to say, I need to change some things because life was over-lifing. And so by the end of the year, it was like, I'm just going to hit pause on a few things. And while financially that wasn't the best thing, you know, I could maintain my team and my company, but it was like, if we don't bring in loads of new business between now and the end of the year, that's okay. Because we all need a break. I put so much on them during that time that I was tapped out that now they're tapped out too. And so it was like, we're gonna slide backwards a little bit and hit the reset button in 2024. And we're gonna hope that 2024 gets its shit together way better than 2023 did, you know. It's weird, but it's still not as crazy as it was last year. I'm still coasting in the land of hell yes and hell no, thankfully.
Yay!
You know, stress, of course, is still going to be a thing. But I also suffer from seasonal affect disorder. So thankfully, I'm coming out of that season, you know, to where the sun is out, it's a little warmer, and the light's a little longer. And so I can be a little more, you know, more human. But
would you say more human?
Yeah, because sometimes it's not happening. But, you know, being able to really like be blunt, honest about where I am. And I'm honest with my team, my clients, my family, my friends. For me, that has helped balance the stress burnout. And I don't mean like unload on you, but in the sense of when you ask me, how are you? The average answer is fine. My answer was fine for most of my life. Now, I might not unload on you where it's like, oh my God, well, let me tell you about this. And the money's funny and this is going on. I'm not doing that, but it's like, it's been better, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. Today is not absolutely fine today, but otherwise I'm all right. You know, my mom, I think the other day asked, how are you? I was like, I don't know, a little broke, a little burnout, a little tired, but otherwise great. You know, she's like, I don't even know what to do with that. I mean, there's nothing to do. I'm just calling it like it is, you know. But it's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this live. Because yes, I do sit in hiding a little bit from time to time, and I show up for my clients, my team, but I typically don't show up publicly. So one, that was just a challenge. But two, I got so sick over the years of buying into these programs or buying into things that were perfect. Everything is great, you know, and it's like, yes, your business has bad days, but the business is great all the time. And we're going to make loads of money. And if you just follow these 6 steps, everything's going to be perfect. And it was just like, am I the only person having these really jacked up scenarios and situations? No, it's not happening to anyone.
No, you're not alone. I think that I want to affirm you really quickly. You are absolutely magical, and I am so blessed to know you.
Oh my God.
I am so blessed to know you.
Disconnected. Oh.
I'm so blessed to know you, and you light up the room, and you are strong, you are capable, and your vision is expansive. And I can't wait to celebrate with you when 2024 is your biggest year yet. I'm putting that out there because that's what we're doing over here. So that's what we're doing. We've decided that.
Yes, I accept it.
Receive it. You know, like, yes. entrepreneurship can be a roller coaster. And I think that the more we can have these honest conversations, right? And we can be transparent about, like, I think I started the business in 2017. And even through the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, 2023 was the first year I thought about quitting. Right.
Yeah.
And to say I had hit this place of compassion fatigue where, like, there was so much going, receiving all this stuff and giving. There was nothing. I felt like I had nothing left to give, and I had nothing else to say. Right? Like, no, I don't need to do another live stream. I said it all. I got 3 tetrabytes. Y'all go watch that shit. Like, which is not my normal nature. So I hear you. I feel you. I identify with you. I empathize with you. And for anyone out there listening, like, there are roller coaster rides, and there are times where the math ain't mathing, where you got your calculator out and you like, if I divide by 2 and I carry the 1 and pi r squared, we might be able to swing this quarter.
Yeah.
It gets real. It gets real. It gets real with them. These bills come every 30 days.
Like,
they got the nerve.
It's the most consistent part of business.
Right? And then you got, outstanding invoices and folks monkeying around with your money. Like
that part.
But I will say, even with the high lows, and this is why that routine of managing your stress, because you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You got to keep it right here. Even the crazy times in my entrepreneurial journey pales in comparison to what I was experiencing in corporate.
True.
Right? Like, I also realized in 2023, my freedom is relatively cheap. I just like fancy stuff. But the truth of it, my freedom is actually quite cheap. Like, my freedom ain't that expensive.
Yeah.
And so I think that, and this I'm tying it back to that language matters, right? Like, when yes, we can be transparent, but it takes a moment to go. When someone asks me how I'm doing, or they're like, how's business? And I want to respond with, yo mama, that's
again, don't you?
I want to respond violently. Let's pick a fight. But what I say, but I say, yeah, this is gonna be my biggest year ever.
I'm gonna receive it from both of us.
That really alleviates pressure on me and them, because I'm speaking the future out there. I'm speaking out what I want to receive, what I want to experience, and I'm not creating, because even saying that one thing like this isn't working, it triggers this whole other spiral in the back of your mind, and now you started a whole spiral. You could have been fine all day. So yeah, it's gonna be your biggest year yet. How's this is gonna be my biggest year yet. Stand by. They don't know. They ain't asked for your P&L. They know. And if they do, tell them to call me. I'll give them the business for you.
Thank you.
I know this ain't what you signed up for when you asked me to do this stuff.
No. When I say I've been looking forward to this, because I already knew your energy.
Oh, coming in hot. Good. Come in hot every time. Yeah. So yeah, I do think that along with the routine and managing language, I think that if you need help, right? I like if you're finding that the stress managing your stress and in your bounce back, your bounce back is shorter and shorter every time, get help, right? Because that means you have exceeded the tools in your toolkit.
Yeah.
You don't have the tools to manage this. And that's okay. This is also part of the human condition. No one is going to label you some kind of failure because you ask for help. Right? And help can look very different for very different people, right? Help could be adding another team member. Help could be, adding a couple therapy sessions. Help could be, working with a different type of coach. Help could be any number of these things. But when you have exceeded your capacity, when you have used all the tools in the toolkit, you used your routine, you have your self-care ain't working, and this ain't working, and get help. Don't wait until you're at the bottom of the well.
Yeah.
And you can't see the light at the top of the well because you've fallen too far down, So I'm done waxing poetic.
It's funny though, to your point about corporate.
Yes.
That is the part that always stays in the back of my head is no matter how hard this is, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I still will take this hard every day compared to that, because that was an hour going to and from. That was days where I was in tears on the drive to work, physically ill before I could even get out of the car.
Crying when I got home.
Crying about work the whole ride home, and once I got out of the car, and sometimes still working anyway. And it was like body aches and migraines and pains, and my ability to bite my tongue has never been that strong. And this face has been getting me in trouble for years. Mm-hmm. So to be in such an environment where it just grew to be more and more toxic, I look back and it's like, on my worst day in business, I still had more control of the situation than I did there. And I will take the crazy roller coaster that comes with business, because at least with this, I can decide to get off of this ride and go on to the next one. I can shift my seats. I can change the intensity of the ride if I want to. I
can reinvent the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can burn it all down, start all over.
Yeah. So now when you were talking through that, I absolutely feel it's like almost like a PTSD that came from it.
I wouldn't even know how to go to work right now. I've had too much autonomy to be to go and you work in a different type of. I work in my zone of genius.
Agreed.
Right. I work in my zone of genius. I have productivity days. I very rarely work an 8-hour day.
Yeah, same. If I do, rarely. It's because I've chosen to.
It's because I made the choice, like, oh, we have this big thing coming up, or I have to have extra rehearsal time because I'm doing this or that, I'm making the choice, or I'm taking an extra day off that week. So I guess I better do a little more today, but like the idea of I got to hang out here all day, even though like I finished my work hours ago.
Yes. Or that I have to have a certain amount of metrics for it to count.
Yeah, like, let me be in this meeting about the meeting when I could be doing the work that y'all actually judge my performance on. Yeah. So anyway, but I'm gonna nudge you because I don't care. This is what you signed up for when you okay. So is it hard? Is it hard?
Yeah.
Is it hard? Well, yeah. So like that's that language piece again, right? So
I will say that there are challenges and there are hard days, and that's the
and that might be a passing fancy.
Yeah. But the business I've created, it in and of itself, no, the business is not hard.
Yeah, and you chose that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not hard. Not hard. Yeah, there are days where you're like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. But that's like a half day. It ain't even a full day. It might even be like breakfast to lunch that it might be like, what the hell? Yeah. And then you're on to, you have your process, you're on to the next thing. And so,
this year, I'm appreciative of a few things that help with it not being hard every day. my team, of course.
Mhm.
I talk about them a lot, but I don't think people understand it. I've met people who have teams and the team is a stressor for them. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, they spend more time bitching about the team than
I was like, oh no, no. This team has kept this business going longer than anybody realizes. I may sell the business and there are lots of facets of what we offer that I do deliver, but 97% of it is them.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so it would not be the same without them. But the other part is getting some support in those areas, like you said, asking for help in the areas that are not my zone of genius. You
Mhm.
know, my business may, doubled each year, which sounds great, but I mean, like, you didn't know that I only made like 15,000 that first year.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah, right.
you
I
know,
wasn't in the negative the first year.
but it's like when I got to a certain point financially, then that's when that part came in where it's like, I've never managed a business that has brought in this amount of money. And
Mhm, mhm.
am I the right person that should be controlling this? Probably not.
Are there any adults in the room?
That's why Kaylee's sitting on this call, because she's now my financial wrangler. But that
Mhm,
support, while the beginning of it is kind of hard for have somebody tell you what you should and shouldn't spend. And all right, so we're going to pull back on the Amazon purchases right now, and we're going to focus on
mhm,
this or whatever, is the thing that
mhm,
I know that I need, because it's not my zone of genius. Having
mhm,
people on even this live, like you and others, who like thrive in areas that I might not, is still helping me, because that's a different level of support that
mhm,
honestly I didn't see as the thing that was going to come out of this, but it has. Each time I talk to somebody, it's like I get something out of the conversation as well.
mhm,
And so having that support system, even if they didn't sign up to be it, has been very important for me. And so it's the thing that it's like, this is the village that I needed to kind of to go to that next level for this
mhm,
to be the best year ever. And so it's like, no, I'm not buying into all the programs, and I'm not being sold every few months,
mhm,
whatever, but I'm
mhm.
really laser focused on the things that I need to keep me lifted up, to keep me focused, and to keep me from burning out like I did last year.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you because I think with awareness, when you have that level of awareness, and now you're taking action to shift things, and there are folks that will just sit in that space and not make the necessary adjustments. I'm not going to say changes, adjustments, so that we're not repeating the same cycles, right? So I want to celebrate you for recognizing that you were experiencing this tremendous amount of burnout, and that you got to this hell yeah, you had lost your hell yeah hell no filter.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I'm excited that you back with a vengeance, fueled by rage. No,
People are gonna get sick of seeing my face this year. That's the goal.
listen,
I was like,
y'all
this,
be sick of me. I
yeah.
don't care.
So
Like, yep, there she go again. I'll be
like,
go get him, girl.
like, didn't I just see her? Yep, you're gonna see her again.
Yep, you gonna see it again.
Oh my gosh. So we are gonna wrap up soon. And
Okay,
so first, I just want to say I
Mhm.
appreciate you more than you realize. This is a reminder that I definitely need to harass you and call you more often, clearly.
Listen, I am not terrible. I tell people I'm not terrible. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not terrible.
Agreed. You're amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you. I received that.
So, I mean, ball of light is what comes to mind.
Oh.
And even from the second that we met, it was like an immediate thing of, oh, this is fun. This is fun.
Oh, yes.
I love
Well,
it.
I don't have an off switch. I do realize that I don't have a dimmer or an off switch. So,
Yeah,
so there's
I
that
agree.
part. And, I think that in this space, especially when we're navigating choppy waters, the waters can be a little choppy, and that's out of our scope of control. Some of this is
Yeah.
that's
Like,
not even you're right. You're not you are a excellent CEO. You are a visionary. It's choppy waters out here. you know? And so I think that it's important to have that sense of community, and to have you are a reflection of your 5 closest people.
Yeah.
Right. And again, we get to pick and choose. And especially when you're at this inflection point where you're getting ready to go to that next level, right? Like it's a springboard situation. That's when you have to be very mindful about who's in your circle, because some people just won't understand the type of growth self-growth that you're experiencing, and the type of focus that you need to have to take it to that next level. So
yeah,
call me, text me, message me.
I guess if there was anything that you wanted to leave with the people today when it comes to stress management, burnout prevention, lifing, any of the thing.
I got 2 things to leave.
Okay.
I got 2 things to leave for the people.
Bring it.
Real simple fix. Mind your words. Mind your mind, right? Like there's the internal dialogue. How are you speaking to yourself, and how are you speaking about your business? How are you interacting with people? So yeah. How you doing? I'm on my way to my best year yet. That feels totally, you can't help but smile after you say something like that. And that's a simple fix. And then I would say that the type of work that we're doing, where we're combining that hypnotherapy for stress management and performance enhancement, along with, focus, an area of focus. I will say that in Q2, we're opening up my roster. So we do have several seats for our Masterful Mind. That's our new coaching program. It's 16 weeks, and it includes that hypnotherapy for stress management and growth. And then we kind of go into like the coaching modality of, okay, where are you going to focus the next 12 weeks? Okay, right there. As a genius, I know you can do all these other things and you never run out of good ideas, but what I need you to do is stay in the pocket.
Yeah. I love that. So where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at All Things Success Bully. We're on brand. I'm on the interwebs. You can successbully.com, Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter.
I will make sure that we put the link in the comments so people can.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Everywhere. Again, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate you. I appreciate this conversation. We could have had this conversation privately, but I figured we just hit.
Why not let everybody come on and join us? Because we're on our way to our best year yet.
Yes. So anybody feel free to call me out if I am not staying true to Keita's advice of minding my words. If you find me going left, feel free to call me out and rein me back in. You can even tag her and be like, she's at it again.
Please, she's at it again.
Get her together. I will put that out there. You are, all of you are allowed to call me out whenever I'm getting in my own way, so that this absolutely can be my best year ever, and on to the next one. So I am thankful. I am just, the cup is full, and I appreciate you.
Oh, yay! That's what I like to hear. I want it overflowing.
Yes.
We want it to be overflowing. I'm so proud of you. Okay. Till next time.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate you. I will talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone. We'll make sure we put all the links in the comments. Make sure to follow YouTube. You can find the replays on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, not X, but otherwise you can find us everywhere at Stallnaker VS. Thank you. Happy Friday Eve. Talk to you soon.